AITA for telling my dad he doesn't have a son anymore? I, 17M, want to know if I was an AH for what I said to my dad. My mom died when I was 2. My dad was single for the next 7-ish years. He was a great dad during that time. He worked hard and still found a way to spend time with me and supported my interests. We went on many vacations together, went camping, had traditions, and he told me stories about my mom and how much she loved me, and he'd remind me to always feel comforted by the fact I had 2 parents who loved me and one was watching out for me somewhere else. He never made me feel like a burden or like I wasn't loved. When I was around 9, he got way less consistent. He showed up less, was busy more often when the time came for us to hang out. He was no longer around a lot when I needed him. He was still there sometimes, but only sometimes, and sometimes got less and less to the point it became rare he was there. A few weeks before my 11th birthday, he told me he'd been dating someone and she had a daughter, and he'd invited them to my birthday party, and afterward they'd be moving in with me. My 11th birthday was a sore topic. I'd wanted a party with my friends like normal, and he insisted on a family party. He told me I was grown enough to miss the friend stuff and focus on the family stuff. His girlfriend and her kid turned out to be the reason. He wanted an excuse to introduce them to everyone. Once they moved in, my dad stopped spending any one time with me. He was all about his stepdaughter who was 4. For a while I asked why I couldn't join them, and he told me he needed to work on the relationship with her because she didn't have a bio dad in the picture, and he and his girlfriend wanted her to see him as her dad. He did all the things we used to do together with her. He'd call it their special thing, which stung. On my dad's wedding day, they tried to say we had become one family unit, and 2 only children became siblings. But I didn't see it that way. I saw it as I'd lost my family, and I didn't want the kid who got him instead as my sibling. I tried talking to my dad, but he was too busy. I talked to his best friend and he spoke to him for me, and Dad stopped talking to him after that. The only time he paid any attention to me was when he was angry that I said no to spending time with his stepdaughter. I told him he should spend that time with her instead since it was so important to build that relationship and all. He told me it was important for us to build a sibling relationship too. I told him it wasn't when I wasn't a part of his new family. He told me I should ask his wife to build a mom relationship with me. I reminded him that I already had the best mom, and she was looking out for me, using what he told me about mom to say why I wouldn't. He told me I still needed to spend time with my new sister. I told him I didn't have a sister. Anytime I had something parents would normally come to, he was already doing something with his stepdaughter. One time it was an award, another time it was a game, another time a talent show. Nobody showed for me, but he always showed for her. I was being bullied a few years ago in school, and my principal called Dad to come and talk about it and work out how to help me. My dad said his daughter was in the hospital and he couldn't come. The principal asked him to call when she was out. He didn't, and my dad ignored the call the principal tried to make after. He never even brought it up to me. My friend's dad tried talking to my dad last year, and my dad told him to F*** off and stay out of it. I think that's when I gave up and I decided I'd keep my head down, work, and get out of there. I have a little over a year before I finish high school and just under a year until I'm 18. I'm working on a plan that means I won't ever need to see or speak to him again. I don't know what happened since New Year's, but my dad has started to complain about us never spending any time together or talking. Maybe he misses the fighting ick. Then the other night he sat me down and he said I act like a stranger, and he doesn't understand why I'm so resistant to being a part of the family. I told him I'm not a part of the family. I said he has put his stepdaughter first ever since they moved in together, and he prioritized her before that even. I said he pulled away from me and focused on her and left me without my parent. He told me it wasn't true, and I asked him to tell me one time he put me before her. He got angry and told me I was being petulant. I told him to tell me one time, just one. When he got more angry, I told him his non-answer was his answer. He never put me first when it came to her. I told him I was done. I said congrats because you have a daughter now, but you don't have a son anymore. My dad told me I don't get to deny our relationship, and how dare I hold it against him that he wanted to give a fatherless girl a dad. When I didn't apologize an hour later, he told me I should just leave if I felt that way. I went to my friend's house and now he's saying I wasn't supposed to leave and I need to come home and apologize and stop saying I'm not his son anymore. AITA?